In a breaking story that covers two of Donald Trump's favorite things, revenge and using the White House to extract money, a former Superior Court judge just destroyed the Donald's planned shakedown of his own DOJ for $230 million, and I have all of his expert analysis and his laughter at our comically corrupt president coming up next. Let's begin with Nicole Wallace of MSNBC, who explains Trump's shakedown scheme. In a nutshell, he wants his DOJ to pay the price for the previous DOJ's pursuit of justice against him. Only in the bizarre world of Trump can such a scenario not only be imagined, but be activated. Have a listen, and then I'll have the judge passing judgment on Donald J.
Breaking news of a potential $230 million shakedown of the American taxpayer by one Donald J. Trump. Brand new reporting in the New York Times reveals that Donald Trump is demanding $230 million from the taxpayers as compensation for investigations into him by the Department of Justice. People familiar with the matter tell the Times this, quote, Trump submitted complaints through an administrative claim process that often is the precursor to lawsuits. The first claim, lodged in late 2023, seeks damages for a number of purported violations of his rights, including the FBI and special counsel investigation into Russian election tampering and possible connections to the 2016 Trump campaign. The second complaint, filed in the summer of 2024, accuses the FBI of violating Trump's privacy by searching Mar-a-Lago, that's his club and residence in Florida, in 2022 for classified documents. The mountain of ethical red flags surrounding Donald Trump now demanding $230 million from the government he leads, with his own attorney general set to sign off on any settlement with him, are so obvious even Trump appears to be capable of grasping it. Here's what he said on this last week.
I have a lawsuit that was doing very well, and when I became president, I said, I'm sort of suing myself. I don't know. How do you settle the lawsuit? I'll say, give me X dollars, right?
Yeah. So now we know X is 230 million buckaroos from us, the taxpayers. New York Times goes on to report it will be paid by taxpayers if his former defense lawyers turned top-tier leaders of the Justice Department sign off on it. If the settlement's approved, we'll be paying Trump for two investigations that remain on solid factual ground, even according to people still in good standing in the MAGAverse.
So with the table set, let's watch a judge feast on this bizarre scenario created by Trump. The reaction you're going to see came to my attention via a Raw Story article titled, We Don't Have Loser Pays. NEWSMAX expert laughs at Trump's $230 million demand. And here's the video from NEWSMAX that features former Superior Court Justice Andrew Napolitano scoffing at Trump's corrupt shakedown of the American taxpayer via his own DOJ.
President Trump there responding to a New York Times report saying that he might be seeking $230 million from the Justice Department as compensation for past investigations.
And with that, Judge Andrew Napolitano, our senior judicial analyst, joins us with this.
But if you were to ask me how this has been treated by history, I would tell you there is no historical paradigm. But suing the government because it prosecuted you and then you prevailed. Both cases ended in Trump's favor for different reasons. Question: when the government prosecutes you and you prevail, can you sue it for the cost that you expend in prevailing? Answer: no. There is no basis for such a cause of action. That would be loser pays. We don't have loser pays in the United States. If we did, there'd be far fewer federal prosecutions if the feds had to pay the legal fees of people that they prosecuted and who were acquitted. If his name were Donald Jones instead of Donald Trump, non-starter.
That if this were to happen, if the $230 million were to be paid to President Trump, it would be via taxpayer funds?
Yes.
Is there accuracy in that?
Yes. The Justice Department has a fund. I don't know how big it is. It's probably $1 billion that they set aside, not for the president, but for cases that they lose where they end up paying. I mean, the DOJ gets sued a lot, but the people that sue it because they prevailed in the prosecutions, that is, the DOJ lost, the defendant prevailed, they don't get the money.
Judge Andrew Napolitano, right against the buzzer here. We do appreciate that.
This story perfectly captures the absurdity of Trump's corruption and the cartoonish self-interest that defines his presidency. Think about it. He is demanding $230 million from loyalists within his Department of Justice as payback for being investigated by the Department of Justice. It's an insider looting that is unfolding in plain sight. The reaction from former Judge Napolitano on NEWSMAX, yes, NEWSMAX, that electronic altar of Trump worship, was priceless. You could hear the head scratching and the chagrin in his laughter as he reminded viewers we don't have loser pays. Translation, Trump's fantasy lawsuit has zero basis in law, ethics, or reality. But is any of that going to keep Trump's henchmen from carrying out his scheme?